Hi, this is Phil. In this tutorial, I'll show you how to create a new page. Now, I'm not referring to a business page or an event page. What I mean are all those other pages on your website. Your staff page, your venue policies, your facility rental information, anything else you can think of. To build those kind of pages, which we call dynamic pages, you go into Spark, mouse over to Pages, go down to the section you want to add a page in, and over and down to Add a New Page. Okay, once that page loads, then it's going to ask you for a page title, and you can tell by the red outline around the page title box. So we'll add in My New Page. Below that, you can choose a template. This is all new. And now there's two templates available. There's the default page template, and then a template that's been built somewhere else. I don't know what this template is, so I'm going to choose the page default. Now you can create your own unique templates or starting points in the Page Template Manager, which you'll find under Pages, right there. This is a great way to maintain consistency in your page design. You'll find a separate video in Saffire U that shows you how to create your templates, and once you've done that, they'll show up in this drop-down list just like these two do. Okay, so we've got our template selected. We've named our page. Now if you look over on the right-hand side, it says Pending Changes underneath the Tools box here and a blinking exclamation mark, plus an orange Save button. Anytime you see the blinky and the orange button, that means you need to save the page in order to move on. And in this case, it's a brand new page, and all new pages are automatically checkmarked as unlisted on the site. So I'll save the page, and it makes a few changes to the site. And there will be a brand new toolbox that pops up here in just 1 second. And in this case now, the Save button has turned blue because we've just saved the page. You can choose to view it, which would open a new browser window, and you'd be able to see what the page looks like on your public website. You can copy the link if you need to make a link to this page from some other page on your site or on someone else's site. And then there's some settings as well. Let's open that up, and you can turn on and off the unlisted option, as well as whether it's a member site. Some websites have that option. You can schedule the page for a specific date and time to appear, so you could load this up a couple weeks in advance before a major announcement or something, and then have the page show up at the appropriate time. You can change the page URL. It would be yoursite.com/p/yournewpage. And then you can also add in the search engine title, description, and keywords. Now below the settings box are 3 new icons. This one is for a desktop preview. If you click on this, you'll see the outline of the screen looks kind of like a desktop monitor. And this is what the site would look like right now on the new screen. Now it's not showing your theme, it's just showing the heart of the page right here. We can also see a tablet preview, and you can see a phone preview. And these are available all the time, so as you're building your page, you can always jump in and see what your page is going to look like on one of these devices. Below that, you again have the option to turn on and off the unlisted page, and you can set a password for the page if you want to protect it. Now you can only set one password per page, but this is a good way to lock it down so only a select number of people would be able to view the contents here. Okay, so the two concepts that you need to grasp in working with our pages now is sections, which is this top area, and modules, which is the area underneath. It's slightly indented here. The module has a gray background. The section has a gray border. Okay. Now the sections, the idea behind the sections is they divide the page into blocks, which can then be divided into multiple columns. And you can do all that by using this ellipsis here, these dots up in the corner. This is where the real power is for the sections, and we're just going to call this the power dots. So we open the power dots. The first option is to edit this. I'll click on that, and you'll see that it opens up and gives you the option of adding a heading to this particular section. This is not required. It's just another option for you. I'm not going to use it in this case, and now I can either go back up to the ellipsis and click on that again, or I can just click on this top bar and you'll see this close up. And now we're in what we call the display mode. And go back over here to the power dots, and we can change this to a 2-column setting. What happens then is all of my content slides over to the left, and you see these blue circles that keep popping up, and this one that's sitting over here. What that's telling me is it's wanting new content. It's asking me to add a new module. That's what this button refers to. Okay, what else can we do? Well, we've got what we're looking at right now is a 50-50 two-column section. Okay, it's each column is split equally. But we can also left justify it, which means the left column will get larger than the right column, and right justify does the opposite of that. We can also change this to a three-column section, in which case all of my content got even smaller over here, and now it's looking for content in two different columns. We can add a section above. In fact, let's just go ahead and do that, and you'll see immediately it adds a new section, and it adds a add module button as well. And we can add a module, or a section, excuse me, below. So now we have three different sections, and this one is a one-column section, this one is a three-column section, and this one here, let's convert this into a two-column section. So I think you can see the possibilities now as far as how you can start arranging the page. But the real power comes when you start moving things around. Now that you've created all these sections and all these columns, you can grab modules and move them to different columns and different sections. And you can even grab a section and rearrange them. So let's take a look at the page now. We have all these sections and columns, and we'll take a look at the preview, and the only thing we still see is the title. The reason for that is there's nothing in these sections. So what it will do is automatically collapse the page and only show you the content which is truly on the page and live. Really convenient for you. I think there was one other thing I wanted to show you in here as well. You can even hide the section if you choose. If maybe the title is not something you want to see on your page, so you can say hide that, and you'll see how it becomes kind of a ghost of itself over here. And then you can also delete a section, unless it's a required module, okay? Or it has a required module in that section, I should say. In this case, the title module is required on every page. So I can't delete the section, or it would delete that module, and the module cannot be deleted. So this section and this module are stuck on the page. You don't have to display them though. Right now it's not being seen. It's hidden. We'll go back and we'll show it, and you can see how it brightens up here. Okay, so that's all the tools that are inside the power dots. Now there's also power dots in the module as well. Not as many, and they do the same thing in that you can edit the power dot, and you can change the title there. We can switch back by clicking on the top bar, and you can hide the module as well. This comes in really handy if you're wanting to add content to a page that you don't want to display today, but maybe you do next week, in which case you could go ahead and pre-build the content and then go back in and just turn the module on. You could do the same thing with a section, or the reverse of that, which is you want the information there today but you don't want it there next week, so you just go back into the page and turn it off. Okay, so now I think you start to see that the modules are really the building blocks for content. They can go anywhere on the page. Now each module that you see, well actually we haven't added a module. Let's do that. Let's add a module. Oh, look, all these different content modules that you can add to this page. Now if you're familiar with Spark, you're really familiar with all of these modules. There's nothing terribly different. There's a few changes that have been made. Now each one of these will have its own knowledge base article and video tutorial that goes along with it, so you'll learn how to use each one of these modules. In this case, I'm going to grab the text gallery module, and let's see if I have any text on my clipboard. And it doesn't look like it, so we'll just add some new text here. Okay, and we'll go back to the display mode, and you see we have text, and let's check the preview. Okay, so what's happened now is that the text has slid all the way to the left, and the page title comes after that because this column has no content in it. So the only thing that can happen is this will slide over. This section has no content in it, so it just hides. And the only thing you're seeing then in the preview is this text I've added along with the title. I hope that makes sense. As you add more and more content to the page, the more options become available to you as far as being able to move them around. And incredible power that you now have available to you, and that power is not just on these dynamic pages. You have the same options available to you on your event pages and your business pages. There's just a few different things about those, and they're going to be covered in separate knowledge base articles with custom video tutorials.